If anyone has another side that they still need to do, you've got time to change the cross. You're even and happy, stay as you are. Just notice the way the breath is moving tonight. And if you can improve it, improve it. Just a few more moments. Then those of you with bent legs, just straighten them, and if the straps are on, remove them. Just slowly make your way to your side. Have a few breaths there. We're going to go quite slow tonight, slow and steady. We are going to use a few more props because we will do some of the poses out of the respiratory sequence that Lois Steinberg has done. We're not going to do the whole sequence, it's too big, but we will do some of the poses. So those of you here, if you get another bolster, and Leslie, I think you've only got one bolster, but if you're at home and you've only got one bolster, you can make a second bolster out of your blankets and your towels. So if you fold up your towels or blankets, Leslie, to the same height as your bolster. I just need to turn the screen a little bit. So it might be 3 because your bolster is probably a little bit heavier. And we're just going to start with the T-shapes. So if you've got 2 bolsters, it won't matter which one you put where. But make a little T-shape on your mat so that you've got the stick and then you've got your second bolster or your blanket stack as the vertical. So if you're at home and you're doing this, then you just build up with your blankets or your towels to the same height as your bolster. You need your belt, and we're going to sit on the stick end of your setup. The belt for the legs is just Baddha-Konasana, and if you throw it over the more easy way to get in and out of it, so big loop across the front of the ankles, the feet are on the bolster and your shoulders are on your second lot of support with the head on the floor. And then you tighten your belt so that you feel it's secure enough for the legs. And then up to you in terms of the arms. If the shoulder and armpit chest is okay like this, then this is good. You can rest them on the body if that's better for you. And just check, Leslie, that the shoulders aren't on the floor. It could just be the angle I'm looking at you on. So as long as the shoulders are floating and the head's on the floor, then that's perfect. Yeah, good. If you've got the buckle toward the abdomen, you'll be able to adjust the belt if you need to on here. Here, you can always put one of those rods behind the knee as well. Oh, some space. You're right, Judy.
So where are the shoulders?
The shoulders are really just either on the edge of the bolster or floating. It'll depend on how long you are and how open the hips and groins are. Yeah, but that looks good. Does it feel okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you're not okay here, just let me know. If it feels good, then great. Just relax into it.
What do we do with our arms?
That's okay. Or if you step up to the side. And if it's too strong, you just bring them and loose them on the bed. So this isn't in the sequence, but it's a good restorative pose. It's a good setup, so there's no harm in getting more familiar with it. If you can walk the inner edges of the shoulder blades a little deeper down and into the body, then you can certainly do that. If you're at your maximum, then just be as you are. Is it cramp? Okay. Yeah. Do whatever you need to get rid of it. And if you find with a little bit of time here, the arms need to change, it's perfectly okay to rest them on the body. Feel that the shoulders are soft. Just a few more moments here. And come back to the breath and see if it wasn't as good as it could have been before, has it changed, or does it still need a little attention? And then quietly just draw the knees toward each other so you can pull your belt off. Roll to the side. Have a few breaths on your side. And then when you're ready to move, you'll come up and you'll turn yourself around so that you are able to go back over your T shape, the opposite direction. So the feet will be on the top of the T, same leg position, and then your head is on the floor and again, shoulders just floating over the edge. It'll feel a little bit different. Some of you will prefer one to the other. It's good to feel both. And then pop your belts on and again, just see if you can settle back here. And yeah, that's right. You can put them to the side, the hands, as long as that's not too strong. Otherwise, just bend the elbows and rest the hands on the body. That's it. Look for that joining of the feet. So you can press from the little toe side to the big toe side. And evenly open the groins. Yep, feel free to put that in, Bev, if you want. Yep. Last few moments. And if the arms are out to the side, just slowly bring them so you can rest the hands on your body for a moment. And draw the knees toward each other, and reach down and pull the belt off. And then from there, you can roll to your side. Have a few breaths on your side. When you're ready to come up from there, come up and show you what's there. So knees and hips that don't like kneeling, we'll add the two bolsters and we'll have a bit more height. So I'll show both setups so that you've got options. Those of you that are okay with forward Virasana, you'll have one blanket just as it comes off the pile for the heels. The knees will be wide for the bolster, and then your second blanket is for your forehead, just to get the nose out of the way. So it might be you need a 2 or a 3, depending on. And we'll start off in the forward position. So if this is okay for your knees or hips, then great. If that's not okay, we'll do the double bolster. Can I just borrow this bolster? And so Bev and Mary, if you think this is a better option, so that you've got something to kneel on. And then it might even be a third bolster, and then the elbow bricks with a head brick. So ideally, if we can get something for the abdomen to rest on as well, that would be better. But if you can find, if this is more tolerable, then this is okay. Or else we can use the chairs. It's okay? Yeah, this is okay. Yeah, and you're okay, Bev? Yeah. And if you find there's a big gap between you and the bolster and you feel that you can't rest down, then add another blanket so that you've got more height across that bolster to rest the abdomen. And I'll show that just in case anyone wants to see. So that you'd have a taller bolster. You'd still do your blanket under the heels and the blanket for the head, but it might give you a little bit more height here. Yes, big toes just touching and shin bone along the floor. And knees really just wide enough for the bolster. That's it. And so Leslie, if we add a half fold long on top of the bolster, just so that you can really rest down with the trunk. Yeah, and then you can flip the end of it even for the head. Or use another one. I told you you're going to need a lot of props. Yeah, oh, that looks good, Bev. Feel that the skin of the forehead moves toward the nose rather than up toward the hairline. Just bring your attention to the back of the body and feel, is it easier to breathe like this? Is it more difficult for you? But as you breathe, direct the breath toward the back of the body. Let the abdomen be soft and relaxed. I think we can get it a little bit better nearer so that the hips can come down. If we add, so that the hips aren't so high. Just try, experiment with a second one. I know it'll feel like a lot, and just see if that helps keep the hips back a little bit more. Yeah, so that you don't feel like they're kicking up toward the ceiling. I know it's hard with the knee. Yeah, that's better. Even here. Does it feel nicer? Yeah. Let the shoulders just drape across toward the floor. Just a few more moments like this. Then slowly, so don't rush, just go as slowly as you need to, but use the hands to help. Just lift yourself back up to the top. Now, if your legs need to be straight for a little bit before you refold them, then just come up or sit with straight legs, because we'll be coming into a Parshva to the side action. So your bolster will just move to the right leg. And the way that you'll come forward over it is hooking the hands across the edge of the bolster so that you have to stretch both sides of the trunk evenly. So the left side will get really long, and your job is to keep working the right side just as long and rest this way. So it's not a twist, it's just that turning to the side. So we'll go to the right side first, but if you need to straighten the legs before coming here, it's fine. Do what you need for your knees. Otherwise, move the bolster and reach the arms. So you end up pushing the bolster a little further away with this one, Leslie. Yeah. So that, yeah, there you go. So that you really have to reach the hands to draw the side trunk long. That's it. And just feel if that left side feel, right side feels short, reach that knee a little further. And then the balls to the right knee. No, you can use it with this, right? Yeah, that's it. Yeah, yeah. And if you feel that right side start to shrink, just re-lengthen it so that it stays long. Why this is good is because this movement stretches both kidneys, the liver and the spleen all at once. So it's good for the internal organs. Just a few more moments like this. Notice if the breath is moving freely and easily, or if that's not the case for you. And then use the arms to help bring yourself back to the upright position and come to the center again. And then you just slide your bolster to that left inner leg. And when you're ready, go forward. So now you're reaching to the left side. It's the right arm that'll give lots of length. So you have to keep drawing through that left side to make it just as long. That's it. Notice if one side enjoys this more than the other, or if there's something different happening for you, or if it's much the same. Just keep coming back to that left side if you feel short, and reach that arm longer. So you extend from the hip to the fingertips. Last few moments. And then quietly just use the arms to help bring yourself back up into the center. And from here, you'll come up and stand on your legs just to straighten them off. So make your way up to the upright position. And move the props, that'll give you a chance to move the legs. We are going to use the rope, and Leslie, I'm just going to change the view so that you can see further down. And there's a way you can make ropes at home if you haven't seen this before or a while. You find a doorknob and you take your belt. So Leslie, I don't know if you've got one where you're practicing, but if you do, then use it and then hook it over. Oh, so you have to be careful because obviously the door can't move. So you want to be considerate the way you move yourself here. But it's a really good way to make a rope at home, and then you find your dog pose there, and you'll get that same traction in. So, you know, if you've got an older house with high door knobs, it's not a bad thing if it's a higher rope, but it's, you know, something to practice. So basically, and most when you're doing the recording, if you've got a door, you do it that way. And those of us here are going to use one rope. And you've got the choice. If you find the rope too cutting, then you can put your blanket in. So you're just going to loop it over your head. You need to move your mat so that it's even with the one rope. Really like how the rope feels, you just put the blanket on. And then bolster. And those of you at home, you just will use a bolster or a soft grip for the head so that you can do the dog pose. If you're at home and the doorknob doesn't work, then hands against the wall as you're up. You don't have to put the blanket in, just some people find it tolerable with no blanket. Let's see. So is that over here enough for you, Leslie, with the doorknob? Oh yeah, you're off. You're in here. Still feel that the rope pulls you in the straight direction rather than pulling you to the left or the right. Type of hamstrings or injured hamstrings. Don't pull them with the heels as much as you need, and walk the arms well forward. Yeah, that looks good, Leslie. That doorknob's working well. Thighs firm, kneecaps tight. Let the head rest. And if the head doesn't reach the support, don't worry, we can increase the height. What we'll do is go to this. A little bit more is enough. You don't want to distort the shape of your pose to take the head down. You want that nice, true dog pose line rather than trying to make the focus. So it touches. Yeah, that's enough. And when you need to change, so that's all going to depend on your own body. It's going to be different for each of you, and tonight that's fine. Walk the feet toward the hands so you can be in Uttanasana, still in your rope or your belt doorknob set up. And hopefully you can still reach your props. If you can't, we'll worry about that in a minute. And see if you can bring the head onto some support in your Uttanasana. If you can't, it's not the end of the world. You can turn your bolster up on its edge and have that on the forehead, but it can slide, so it's not always the best way. And if you need bricks under the hands, pop them in. Yeah, that's it. So we'll come back and forward a few times from dog pose to Uttanasana in your own time. So take the time you need. If one pose feels particularly good and you want to stay in it a little bit longer than the other, that's absolutely fine tonight. Looks good, Lee. You're pulling the kneecap thigh muscles up. So let the legs not work. Hold that thigh muscle firm to the bone. Yeah, and just be careful with that jaw moving. And if one pose does feel particularly good tonight compared to the other, just be curious about that and explore why that might be. Back of the knees, nice and open. When you're in your dog pose, feel that the skin on the buttocks moves toward the heels. The skin on the abdomen moves toward the chest. Oops. Keep walking the hands a little longer, Zoe, in that one. And trust the ropes will hold you. That's it, so that your spine can lengthen. That's better. So just a short while longer here. If you're wanting to change, the next few moments will be a good time to change. If you're happy in the pose you're in, you want a little bit longer here, stay in it. That's it, Bev. That looks good. And then slowly, if you're in dog pose, just bring the hands and the feet toward each other and take a few breaths there before you come up. If you're in Uttanasana, then use the legs and raise yourself back up. And then just lift the rope off over the head to come out of it. That's it. That worked really good, Leslie. So we're going to need 2 chairs each. Lots of props tonight. So Leslie, even if they're not yoga chairs, 2 dining room table chairs, whatever they are, as long as they're the same in terms of height, will be perfect. So if you grab that. So we'll be using the long edge of the mat, and you open your chairs up, closed chairs. I'm going to show this from a couple of different angles so that it's clear. And with the seats of the chair, or the legs touching. And then your bolster, this is where your 2 bolsters begin. Bolsters on top. And we're doing a supported Pasarita Uttanasana. So it's the wide leg pose going forward. So if you know you normally need bricks, but underneath, actually you will need bricks, sorry, because of the height of the bolster. You'll have your 2 bricks there. And I'll show first. You're going to walk the feet wider than the chairs. And then you're bringing the abdomen onto those bolsters, hands to the bricks, and you'll be here, okay? And Leslie, I'll show it from the other direction too, so you can see it. And then I'll give you your props. So your feet, it doesn't matter if you come off your mat with your feet, but see that you're even. So not 1 foot on the mat and 1 foot on the wooden floor or the floor at home. You see that you're not getting that slight imbalance. And then you'll be there. If you're taller, it might be low bricks rather than tall bricks.
Do you drop the head or do you put it?
Just let it find its place rather than trying to put it anywhere in particular. It'll be a little bit more belly button and above by the time you go forward. That's it. Yeah. And if you're shorter and 2 bolsters is too high, take 1 bolster out. And it could be 1 bolster and a half folded blanket. It might just be 1 bolster. So Judy, if you think that that's too high as well, or if it's causing any pain into the abdomen because it's too much, you know, make it feel good so that it's a place you want to spend your time. The legs still have to work. Yeah, and you might be able to choose your bricks down one as well. Just feel that the heels lifted with that, so anchor the heels down and feel that you can do it. And it might be that that's too much for you as well, but maybe a half fold blanket rather than
Melissa,
Yeah.
are your ribs or your stomach on the bolster?
If you kind of gauge it from the belly button and just above as more of the pressure point, for most people that will be where it's most comfortable. So it could be that it's too much height as well, if it feels that it's stopping you from going forward. And so if it doesn't feel good, of course, come out and we'll have a look at it. Is that better, Leslie?
Yeah, just too much ribs, I think, was
Yeah.
before.
So it's, yeah, so it was probably just a little bit too high.
Do you think I should take something out?
Try taking that top one out and just see if it feels better or worse or no different.
No, that's better, I think.
That's better, yeah. And you might be able to turn the bricks down as well with that. And I think, Zoe, just use the low brick so that you're not letting your head and your shoulders roll too far toward the floor. Yeah, just so you've got a bit more stability through. So inner knee to the inner groin, well engaged, strong straight legs, heels and balls of the feet firm. So we're going to take a break and come back to this just in case your legs are finding they need a break. If they're not and you're happy, stay. Otherwise, bring yourself up, have a rest and go back into it. Low back issues, heels broader than the toes so that you're not creating that shortening through the back of the thigh and the low back. But otherwise, feet neutral so that you're not, yeah, I'd maybe work in with friction if you find that they start to slide. Yeah. So you still have to be able to work the pose in terms of feet and legs. Yeah, that looks nice, Vanessa. Just bring your attention back to the breath again if you haven't checked in with it for a little while and feel, are you able to breathe easily here or not so well? Or is it hard to tell? And then use the legs to bring the hands back up onto the supports, the chairs, the bolsters. And then if it's safer for you to bend the knees, you'll bend them. Otherwise, strong, straight legs can come up. And then step the feet together. Just move all of the props to the side. I know there's a lot of them. Move them to the side. So we'll come back to the double chairs. And then we'll do it place it. So you'll take the feet wide. If you need bricks for under the hands, get them ready. Start in the upright position where you can feel you've got the feet well into the floor, balls and heels, with the kneecap thigh muscles. And then start to go forward. Start with the hands on the hips and roll the elbows toward the ceiling. Look forward. So reach the front spine long. And then when you get to that point where it's time for the hands to come down, light touch with the fingers to the bricks or the floor under the shoulders. Re-establish the legs. Feel that you didn't drift back or forward. And if this is the maximum for your hamstrings, you'll stay here. Otherwise, walk the hands back in between the feet toward the back of the mat, fingertips forward, and just let the head start to come down toward the floor. You don't try and force it. If it doesn't reach the floor, it doesn't matter. Hold the legs steady and feel the difference in the pose with no support. Keep checking the feet, the legs. Don't let the knees bend. Keep working that kneecap thigh muscle firmly. You can always ease off a little bit if it's too much in terms of hamstrings. Abdomen soft, side trunk long. Just a few more breaths. And then those of you that are further forward and in, just slowly walk the hands back so they're under the shoulders. And then you can look forward and feel the feet are firm, the legs are firm. Those of you that know you need to bend the knees to come out safely, you'll bend them. Otherwise, straight legs, hands to the hips, bend the elbows to the ceiling and lift yourself up. Walk the feet in and stand in Tadasana. Just feel the body, let the breath and the brain settle. Release the shoulders down to the fingertips and reach the fingertips to the floor. Knees tight, thighs firm. Shoulder blades press the inner edge in. Grow taller. And then release from there. I'm going to show the setup here. Some of you know it. If you haven't done this one for a long time, you need your two chairs and you'll be against a wall. So imagine that this is my wall. And then you'll need your two blankets or towels if you're at home. Now we do have the frame as well, and some of you use the frame regularly. This is the way to have a frame if you haven't got one at home. And it doesn't mean you have to go upside down, it just means you're going to start the process. So the wall would be there, your ears would be against the wall, you kneel on the floor, hands this way, and then you put your head in the hole, and you can be here. So if this is as far as you get, this is fine. Those of you that want to pick up, you'll pick up. I'm not going to do it here because there's no wall behind me. And even if you're not picking up, you'll get that nice muffled feeling of your ears, which will bring you a little more into yourself. Oh, and for those of you on the pillars, be the end lead if you don't hold the wall, if that makes you feel nervous, just that it's narrow. mean, it's not going to be dangerous, but it makes you feel nervous. And then, so Leslie, I'm not sure, if you've got a wall and that'll work, you're all good. Oh yeah, you've got it sorted, nice. So the double folded blanket is just a little triangle on the shoulders. Right, double fold. Go up. If you're nervous about going up, right, you kind of stay close to you, and then yeah, watch out for your earrings as you poke your head in the hole. Earrings.
On that chair.
Oh, like that, yeah. So that you push down rather than pushing the chairs out to the side. And so you push down rather than. Yeah. And just make make sure that the thumb's not being too hard on the chair and use more of the heel of the head. And if you don't feel it doesn't matter, you still upside down, legs at the roof of the up.
I'm just trying to think of it. What I'm saying. I'm just trying to. I'm sure. Yeah, it's all right. Oh, yeah. Got my shoulder. Oh, jeez.
That's the first page of here. So we've got the frames here. So you switch to the frame. The frame is quite luxurious. It's just a little more comfortable. But the chairs are good. There's nothing wrong with it. If you stay there for as long as you want to stay there. If it feels good, stay. If you need to come down, you'd like to.
Yeah.
And it's, so just so you can. And you'll be. I do move it, but if you've got your hand on the chair, I'm watching you, Leslie, then they shouldn't move.
Right.
Yeah.
Can you have them simple or?
You can have them single, but as Zoe just said, it's quite hard on the shoulder. When it's single.
It's really hard. It is actually. It's quite hard.
Whereas double is quite good.
Am I supposed to kick up or not?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I did before. I wasn't sure.
Oh, I missed it then because I know you.
And I can't hear you when I'm in the blankets.
Oh no,
When I'm in the blankets.
it's good. You get a bit of a muffled feeling. That's it. So those of you that are more used to using the frame in class, whoops, the chairs are different. They're not as soft. Careful, Mary. If you want to try the frame to compare, we've got two of them here, so you're welcome to do a comparison. And Judy, just bring the legs more to, that's it. Yeah, because if nothing else, it just shows you the difference. That's it, Leslie. But at home, you might not have the frame. And so then you can use a couple of chairs at home, put some towels on them, and you can still do this. Yeah, that's it, Zoe. Yeah, just do it there. He's lost one of his feet. Stupid feet. hard on the shoulders. So the advantage of the frame, you're right, Mary, is that there's a lot more padding. So it's actually really quite soft. Yeah, you're welcome to try the frame if you want the comparison. And if you're down, yeah, dog pose is a good thing to do after being in one of those positions. That looks good, Leslie. That's it. Yeah, good. Well done, Leslie. So if you've had enough of that, then you come out, you can fold your chairs up and just keep one. If you're still going and you want to go up again, that's fine, there's still time. And yeah, and hold that wooden part up on the top of the frame bed. That's it, yeah. And then lift the knees up and it'll feel different already. Yeah, so it is like, you know, the deluxe version compared to the chairs. So it almost spoils you. When you try the frame, you're more inclined to want the frame than the chairs. So yeah, when you're done with that, you can do dog pose, put one chair away. And then once you've done that, those of you that are ready, you'll take the two bolsters. So imagine this is my wall here. Make a train with your bolsters so that it's against the wall. And we'll do the supported situ bunda. So the whole body is supported with the extra bolster. You still slide over the edge, so you position yourself as if the blocks were on the wall. You slide over, except now you get a little more softness and a lot more support. And then arms out to the side or down by the hips. Okay. Yeah, and if you've only got one bolster at home, then you just make your second bolster out of your blankets and your towels. So shoulders firmly on the floor, shoulder blades firmly into the body. If you need more support, back pinching as a belt. So just let me know if there's any problems. And shoulders all the way down, so it keeps sliding. Yeah, otherwise it'll be quite hard to hold and uncomfortable. So really let the shoulders move to the floor just as you would in your shoulder balance. Good use of the belt, Leslie. Feel that the thighs are still firm. So even though there's more support, don't take away the integrity of the pose and keep that support through your body as well, rather than just the external props. Let the abdomen spread and soften. Take it higher up the thigh, Leslie, so it's more mid-thigh, and see if that improves it. Hopefully that's working. So just remember to spread the back of the thigh broad from the inside to the outside so that your lower back spreads with it rather than pinching in as if I was there and I took my hand from the inner thigh and spread the thigh to the outer thigh. See if you can do that. A few more moments here. Notice the breath, where it is in the body if you can detect it. And then if you've got the legs belted, you will unclip the belt, bend the knees, press the feet to the floor and slide back so that once you can get the hips down, whether you pull the bolster out or slide all the way, cross the legs on top of the bolster so that you can rest on the floor but have the elevation of the legs. If there's no knee or hip issue, make it a tighter, easy cross leg so it's at the center of the shin bone. The groin soften, the knees soften. And then change the cross of the legs. Look for that softness through the groin. Don't create any hardness. The knees release. And then you can undo the legs and roll to your right. Have a few breaths there before you bring yourself up. You take your chair and have it so it faces you on your mat. And some of you know exactly how much height you need for sitting, easy cross legs going forward. So bolster spine or folded blankets. You want to be able to drape the upper back and rest the arms as much as possible. So, you know, it might be that the head needs more support, but that the arms can still rest and you're not right as far forward. Those of you that can go forward, you'll be able to really walk those arms long so that you can maximum adjust the distance to it. Right shin bone in front to start with, and again, be on the sitting bone so that you get that full extension. And if the bolster feels too sinky, then switch for blankets. For some of you, the blankets are definitely better. Go for length, that's it, from the hip to the armpit. If the forehead can rest, fantastic. You can also have the chin resting so that it's the opposite direction, really helpful for anxiety and depression. So if that feels more appropriate for you tonight, feel free to do it. Yep, that's it, Zoe. And then see if those hands can relax a little bit too. Abdomen soft. Just look to bring a softness through the brain, the breath, and the body. If you need the ankle support, if anyone's got that problem tonight, then we'll just add the blanket. And quietly use the arms to help support as you bring yourself up. Keep the right leg in front. And you're going to take the left arm, like threading the needle, feed it through. So I'm going to show with and without the chair. It's not on the way. So the left arm will come across to the leg, and you still have the head on the chair. So I'll put that back in a minute so you can see. But you're just getting that same length through the side of the trunk. So with the support, I'm just going to move the blanket so it's not obscuring. And this top arm can bend and just help feed that left side through. Okay. And if it's, you know, an easy movement for you, feed it as far as it'll go. And if you get stuck, stop where you get stuck and see if it releases. You won't be here for long. and then release the left arm and the left side of the trunk. Change the cross of the legs, left leg in front, and then when you're ready, go back forward again into that supported forward position, whether it's chin supported or forehead supported. Just feel what you need tonight. Keep the length through the sides of the trunk. Just look to release as much as possible. You're not over holding or gripping. Abdomen releases, you can breathe. This is the more difficult cross for your legs. Just check the groin, keep it soft on that front leg side. Last few moments here. So if you need to come up to the upright position first, then you'll do that. Otherwise, you will just thread the arm through the opposite arm to the opposite leg and do that same Pajva action on this side. Let's see how far you can move that arm through in the side trunk. And then bring the arm back so that you're in the center again and come all the way up. So some of you will want to keep the chair, some of you will want to get rid of it. We're going to sit in Vishnu Konasana and come forward. So it might be that you know that you can sit on a folded blanket and come forward to the bolster, for example, and go forward this way, and rest. You might want a head blanket, or it might be that you know you need the bolster to sit on and you need the chair to come forward to. So the idea is to have enough support so that even if the hips and groins are tight, you can get some forward movement and rest either the chin or the forehead down. Okay. So feet as if they were standing on the ground, on the center of the heel, toes up, bones of the feet well spread so you can engage the kneecap thigh muscle. And if it's tall support, have enough support under the buttocks so that you're not sinking. Be on the front edge of the sitting bones. And if you're on the floor and you're going to the bolster, then you still might have a little bit of support under the buttocks, or you might not. You'll know if you're doing that. Don't let the legs get loose. Keep them firm, thigh muscles well engaged. So look for that feeling of the abdomen releasing like it did when you were standing with wide legs and we had all of that bolster and chair support. Yep, that's good. It doesn't matter how tall you are, if you can get that nice softness, then perfect. Just put the head up and just have a look at Bev, how she's folded her blanket. But you no, go back, Bev, relax. It looks good. Just see how the line from her shoulder to her elbows all the same. So she gets a little bit more release there. So just try it a little bit higher and feel if it feels more comfortable. Is that better? Yeah. Yeah. Now again, extend through from the groin to the inner heel, cut back through the outer heel to the outer hip, so the legs stay active, kneecap thigh, well engaged. Then let the trunk and the head be soft and relaxed. Last few moments. Just bring your awareness back to your feet. Engage the little toe toward the outer hip. Keep the thighs firm. Use the arms to support yourself so that you lift up without pulling the back. Walk the feet in closer and pop the chairs away just so they're out of the way. That'll give you a chance to move around on the legs. We do that and then we will set up for our next pose. I'm going to change the view so that you'll be able to see. So most of you know the set up for the three-legged blankets and one bolster as well. It's free from like it comes off the pile to reach the bolster. And the angle of the bolster is so it goes away from the top part and to the bottom. And then those of you that know the extra blanket's too much, then you don't get it. But if you're not sure, have the half block shape for the top. And you've got your options of if you've got ropes, sliding it. If you've got no ropes or you like a roller, you have the hands on the floor. Bring the shoulders to the bolster and slide it. So there's lots of lift and lots of height. It's definitely not a flat chest position. The shoulder blades will be nice and firm. So if you're not rolling up, I'll show the rope one as well. Okay. And if you need to see the setup again, you go out. So this is the you don't have to be harder than this wall with your thighs, especially if the hamstrings are tight. You need a little bit more room. So there's a little bit more room. You don't get in this close with the ropes, but it's still the round position. Just go through. So you keep on the back. Yes, that's right. Similar to shoulder balance, that's strong. And if this is too high, we just cross is on the leg, okay? Just make it so. Yeah, use the ropes. Oh, you're a little bit. I think this is too much.
Mine.
Your bolsters tip to the wall rather than the other way. So yeah, see if you can fix it. Thank you. And I don't think you need the top length either. Yeah, come out.
Can I just pull up or not?
This is one of the folders. Okay. And did you roll them or did you?
Yeah, roll them, but
Yeah.
forgot how to do it. I did it, but the branch.
So the head does touch the floor, but you don't. So you just bring the shoulders to touch.
Right.
Yeah, is that right? And then use the arms. There you go. And then heels to the wall. And then just slide the shoulders to the ground. But without sliding your hips a little bit. Yeah, right. That's better. Yeah, yeah. That looks good, Leslie. So you're not okay here, but you know. Yeah, wherever that is. Yeah, that's it. And you know, it's harder than you can use. Yeah, yeah, and the ropes are. Yeah. Yeah, so you just want the sharp of each. I know, I think it's the most common. You just. It's a little bit. Few more lines here. If you're not finding it's working for you tonight, then slide out and rest on the floor. Some nights things just don't work so well for us. But if you're there and you're happy, stay. Just feel that softness of the skin on the abdomen. There's no gripping. Notice the breath again, where it goes to, how it moves in and out of the nose. Then slowly without rushing, so it might be another 30 seconds or so here. You just start to bend the knees and press the feet to the wall so you can slide the hips down to the floor, and either Baddha Konasana or easy cross legs on the bolsters. Observe the breath again as you come down, if it changes. If the legs are crossed, change the cross. If you're Baddha Konasana and still okay there, stay there. Feel the skin on the abdomen again, how soft the abdomen is. If it can be softer, let it be softer. And then quietly make your way to your right, and we will set up for Shavasana. So whatever you need to be comfortable, if that means the bolster under the thighs, then have it. We'll turn the fans off to see you've got cold here. Make it. The layers on. Pop them on. As you start to settle yourself here, feel the back of the body's even. If you need to iron it out, more iron it out. Yeah, release the shoulders. Still feel that pressing of the inner edge of the shoulder blade. So the chest opens from the inside out. Not aggressively, just with firmness that then will sustain you as the release comes through. Start to move away from the periphery toward the center. Use the breath if the brain needs something to focus on. And very slowly start to draw your awareness back to the surface. See if you can bring it to the level of the skin. Take a deeper in and out breath through the nose and notice the quality of your breath. With a normal breath, rest the hands on the body. Feel the way the breath moves beneath the skin and the flesh. And bend the right knee and then the left. And roll yourself onto your right side. Breath or two there, so you just move slowly. And then as you're ready to come to an upright position and sit in any comfortable position on anything, it helps you lift the chest. Feel that shoulders settle down, shoulder blades stay in. When you join the palms together, keep pressing the inner edge of the shoulder blades. and surrender the head to the heart. Namaste. Thank you. Have a nice evening. Thanks, Leslie. You have a nice evening.
It's very relaxing and restorative, I think.
Good, just what you need.
Yes. See you on Saturday morning.
Cool. See you Saturday. Thanks.
All right. Yeah.
Bye.